Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Good morning. It is Friday, the 14th. Ooh, dodged a bullet there. We have a summoning event for the 6th anniversary fusion, and I wanted to talk a little bit about it because I think there's potential here for danger if you are a free to play player, if you're someone who's just conserving right now, maybe not wanting to go crazy. So yeah, let's get into it. So I believe it is it's not a tournament, it's an event, Summon Rush. We've got the rare at 3,500 points and the epic at 6,100 points. So just a couple words of caution here. It's usually with these kind of events, it's much easier to get this if you have the resources to do the fusion, because it saves you from having to build up 4 rares with the ascendance potions, the food champions, all that stuff. Um, and this is like if you have the resources, it's really good. There's a couple sort of notes here that I wanted to sort of go over. So the first thing I wanted to go over was kind of what's the investment cost here to us to get some of these champions, some of these fusion materials. So with this Summoning Rush event, points are based off of what shard you pull. So sacreds are worth 500 points, voids are worth 120, and then ancients are worth 20 points. I would generally not recommend pulling ancients for this event, especially with no other corresponding 2x or anything like that. It's just ancients are just not a good value, and I'll show you why in a little bit. So what the point requirements here: 3,500 to just get the rare, 6,100 to get both. We went over that. So this is what my current stash is of of voids. You can tell what's on my mind. Of shards. So I've got 10 sacred shards right now, which would equal to be about 5,000 points. I've got 30 void shards, which would be about 3,600 points. And I've got 121 ancient shards right now, which would equal 2420 in point value. You can see why this is just not a good thing to pull during this event. It's just not. It's a huge investment. You don't even get to the rare. It probably takes you a couple weeks to save up this amount of ancient shards. So like, no, thank you. So what's my plan here? Well, my plan is just going to be pull my 7 sacreds to get to the rare. And I'll go over a couple reasons why. So, whoopsie. Go over a couple reasons why. There's a couple things to note here. So I think what I'd like to do is pull up the fusion calendar, and just kind of show like what I think is going to happen here. I wasn't prepared to do this, but it's a good idea. So let me just pull this up real quick. Perfect. Okay. So here's our summon rush. These are basically the same event. There's a champion chase tournament happening next Friday. So right here, champion chase. And this to me is a little bit fishy that there's nothing going on here. Obviously they construct this in a way to where it's linear, so you have a progression through events. But this is very, very fishy to me in this last week, because last year with the Armand's fusion, they did a Titan event, and they started the Titan event for his 5-star soul in this last week of the fusion. So I wouldn't be surprised by the end of next week if there is not a Titan event happening for the Lord Entertainer Fabian soul. This is why, if you're and I've heard some rumblings that this might be 2x void or 2x ancient. Plarium could do something crazy and do both, and make it points based off of, like, basically this champion chase also coincides with the champion chase type Titan event. So this is very, very, very possible that this could happen, which means that if you're sort of conserving, you don't have a lot of resources, or you want to push your resources as far as they'll go, this is a very important thing to save for. Obviously, we don't know yet. Obviously, there's a little bit of it could be a training event. I doubt it would be though, because they've got a training event here and a training event here. So I don't think they would make it training. I think this is going to be summoning. So we'll just have to see. We'll have to see. But this is why I'm not going crazy with this event. What's the first reason? The second reason is if we get back into the game here and look at this progressive event, these are all great champions. Honestly, I have Elva, I have Duchess, I have Glacat. All fantastic. They're all used in one way or another on my account. Elva is my MVP for my best Hydra team. I think I'm very, very close to 9-piece protection. I cannot wait to put her in 9-piece protection for Hydra and for Chimera. Glacat is great. He just needs a little bit better gear on my account. Duchess is really good too. For arena, for decreased damage taken, that sort of thing. I don't have Pythion. I don't have Prisma here. Prisma is a little bit of a weirder one. And the only sort of epic I don't have is Rector Drath, which, I mean, I might as well just throw these in here now so I don't forget. But, so, the progressive events, I think, are a little bit of a bait event. If you're not really high on Mercy and basically guaranteed a legendary, you have such a small chance to do this. I don't even look at these events as pulling shards, as getting legendaries. I look at these events as building up points to do the fusion. And if you happen to get something in the process of pulling shards, great. Like, that's awesome. That's how I've gotten a couple of my legendaries. So I don't necessarily look at this as like, oh, I have to pull shards because I need a Pythion or I need a Elva or whatever. I think that's more targeted towards the spenders, people who kind of consistently buy shards and have like 40 or 50 or 60 sacreds built up for this kind of thing. Even then, I don't think they're pulling all of them. But they might be. It depends on how bad they want one of the champions or want to finish the event, because I know there's some mythical books in the event, in the summoning event. So that's why I'm not going to go crazy here. I only have 10 shards. The reason I've been saving up these shards is specifically for this fusion, for this event. So I think what we're going to do is just pull our 7, get out. We're going to save 3 for the next fusion next month. And if it's a bad fusion, then we just get an extra month of saving up. Or if it's a fusion that we think we can skip, like it's for something we have already, then we can skip. And then that just gives us more time to save up. So I think this is kind of like how I'm approaching this event and how I'm approaching most of these fusions. So without further ado, let's get into it. I just wanted to show you guys real quick. This is probably going to be a real disappointing event for me. My Mercy right now, so this is RSL Helper, my Mercy on Sacreds is 0. So if we get a legendary, it's really truly like against the grain here. Mercy's looking good for Ancients. We're halfway there. Voids it's a little bit yikes. Mythicals, I think I pulled 10. I still have not gotten a legendary from a Primal Shard, and I've only gotten 1, which is why this reset to 20. I got a Mezimel, I think it was a couple months ago. So, all right, let's get to it. 7 Sacred Shards, let's go. A Rector Drath would be great. Who's this guy? Gravedirt. Pharsalis? Pharsalis? All right, we're moving on. Another Ugo. That's cool. I have a +2 already. I might build another one. That was weird. Malkith. I've gotten this guy like 4 times. It's so annoying. Oh, Skull Crusher. Okay. This is my second Skull Crusher. I went so long without getting this guy, and then in the last like 2 fusions. I've pulled 2 of them. It's like way past beyond being useful, but maybe Faction Wars actually. Ugh, Rearguard. This was one of my first epics. She was on my clan boss team forever until I got better champions. She's not terrible. Ally protection, continuous heal on a 3-turn cooldown, AoE decrease attack, which is pretty cool. Just so many books though. And then decrease defense on the A1. It's a single target. It's a 50-50 chance. I mean, just not, in comparison to some of the power creep we have in this game, just not a champion you'd really like use anywhere other than maybe Centranos if you have no other options, or Faction Wars. She's currently still on my Faction War team, but it's not, things are not things are not fast on that Faction War team. I'll just tell you. This guy again? What is going on? This guy even... One enemy, provoke, decrease attack. Oh, places decrease attack if the target's under a fear, true fear. All enemies, heal reduction, that's not bad. Shield buff on all allies equal to 30% of their max HP, also 15% strengthen. Immune to fear and true fear. I just don't see where I would use this guy. Like, whoops. Okay, last one. Oh! Who the f is this guy? Beauregard? I don't know who this guy is at all. Let's check it out. Attacks one enemy has 50% chance of placing increased defense buff for 1 turn on the ally with the lowest HP. Will not be placed on this champion. 100% chance of instead if this is critical attack. Okay. What is this guy? This guy's an HP. 1 random debuff for allies places a shield buff on all allies for 2 turns equal to 20% of this champion's max HP. 50% increased res buff and 30% increased speed buff on allies for 2 turns. That's a 4-turn cooldown? Ew. Allies receive 10% less damage when... The allies receive 10% less damage from champions whose resistance is lower than or equal to theirs. This guy seems not great. I'll do some looking. Beauregard. You know, let's pull up his Hell Hades thing and see. I literally have no idea who this guy is, so I think we should check it out. .5. Okay. That's not terrible. Kind of is terrible. Good in Doom Tower. Good in Ice Golem. Wonder why that is. Okay, well, we got a legendary. It was another bad one on the streak of bad ones that I've had, that I've pulled. So maybe he's not bad. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we'll look up something and find out that he's like super niche somewhere. The big thing, so I was thinking immediately Faction Wars, but my Faction War team has enough protection. They're fine. They have negative damage. It takes like 4 minutes to run. And it's just taking too long. Like even with a Geo, even with a Morag, I just don't have the damage. I need someone to come in and like, you know, like hammer the ads, and it's just not happening. So anyways, guys, I hope your pools go better than mine. We got a legendary, can't really complain. Could have been anything. Would have liked a newt there. That would have been amazing. Anyways, hope you guys have a good fusion. Have a good weekend. I'll see you later.